Did Buckingham Palace or Prince William set a trap for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and were they gullible enough to fall into it?
Buckingham Palace walls are reportedly trembling again, and Meghan Markle isn't flashing that trademark Instagram smile today. For years, she strutted through life believing she could outplay the monarchy with polished PR tricks, glossy photo shoots, and those dramatic Oprah monologues. She treated royal customs like optional accessories, as if ancient tradition was just a vibe for her next Hollywood brunch. Now rumors are swirling that those royal corridors are buzzing for real because the palace has quietly launched an internal review into something explosive.
Harry and Meghan Markle's surrogacy scandal has entered the mainstream media domain.
Archie and Lilibet's official documentation, everything from birth records to christening papers and lineage details, is allegedly being re-examined, and insiders say Meghan's pacing around Montecito like a reality star who just found out the reunion episode isn't going her way. This isn't some petty rumor or tabloid fluff anymore. This is constitutional business. The kind of situation where heritage, succession, and legitimacy collide in broad daylight. The monarchy isn't some Netflix series Meghan can rewrite at the last minute.
People think her kids are fake, they think they're AI, they think they're borrowed kids, like all these sorts of things because of Meghan and Harry.
Royal lineage means verifiable births, certified medical witnesses, and properly recorded Anglican christenings. Things that exist in archives, not Instagram captions. Yet Meghan reportedly still expects everyone to believe her word because she once posed with a baby bump in front of flashing cameras. Online whispers have been getting louder for years. Talk of paperwork gaps, strange photo inconsistencies, suspicious edits, and ceremonies that don't line up with royal standards. And now it seems like Buckingham Palace might finally be paying attention. If this internal review deepens, Meghan's shiny modern Duchess image could collapse faster than her last podcast deal. Because this time, it's not just about headlines. It's about royal legitimacy, and that's one thing no influencer spin can fix.
Buckingham Palace is being pressured to remove Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet from the UK's royal line of succession until the Duchess provides absolute proof that she popped out both babies herself.
What really set it off, insiders claim, was a recent family moment Meghan shared online. Smiling with Archie in their Montecito backyard meant to look heartwarming and peaceful. But instead of sympathy, it sparked chaos. People flooded the internet asking, again, why the royal paperwork has never matched up with standard palace protocol. And according to reports, that single post was enough to push senior royal advisors to dust off the files. Digging through press statements, hospital records, and old christening confirmations. Behind those palace doors, the tone has shifted, from polite skepticism to urgent review.
Meghan entered this world like it was a Hollywood set, assuming she could rewrite the script, center herself in every scene, and edit out anything that didn't fit her narrative.
Something inside finally snapped, and it's not about Meghan's endless talk of empowerment or her curated garden pictures anymore. It's about proof. And this time, the Crown wants answers. Not because anyone wanted drama, but because royal lineage isn't built on hashtags or influencer energy. It's built on proof. Constitutional proof, the kind that must hold up for generations. Advisors reportedly noticed something off. Certain records were oddly vague, missing traditional signatures, or formatted in ways that didn't resemble any known royal standard. That's when the quiet whispers began. Could a royal birth registered abroad without direct medical supervision even meet the constitutional requirements for inheritance and royal titles? Meghan's fierce demand for privacy might have sounded empowering at first, but now it's looking like the biggest misstep of her entire royal run.
And then they put out pictures of Lilibet, but it does, you see her half covered,
right.
But all you see is Meghan. So it's all about Meghan again.
The less access she allowed, the more questions the palace had to answer. According to reports, people close to the royal administration finally asked the question everyone's been afraid to say out loud. If everything was perfectly standard, why does nothing look standard on paper? That single question changed everything. It gave palace officials the green light to start a discreet verification process that Meghan never saw coming. And here's the kicker. This investigation wasn't sparked by jealous courtiers or rival royals trying to stir the pot.
And then when the baby was born, when Archie was born, that was another, in my view, a disaster because I knew we was not going to get a picture of it. Everybody was hoping we would get pictures of it.
Insider chatter claims the motive is purely constitutional. The monarchy has to defend its lineage on paper, not through public image. But the real shock came when staff reopened Archie's official documents. What they found reportedly raised eyebrows across Buckingham Palace. The first thing that jumped out wasn't Meghan's Hollywood shine or media theatrics. It was the odd amendment to Archie's birth certificate, made a whole month after his birth. Archie arrived on May 6, 2019, and at first, everything looked normal. The certificate listed his mother as Rachel Meghan Markle, exactly as the law required. But then, on June 5th, the record was mysteriously changed. Without any public explanation, Meghan's name vanished and was replaced with the formal title, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex.
I do believe because there are no delivery certificates, and I heard stories early on around the time Archie was allegedly in utero and being born. I heard stories that royal staffers were not allowed to see or touch her abdomen.
For a monarchy that's handled royal births with more precision than a courtroom for centuries, this kind of last-minute edit is beyond rare. It's practically unheard of. Royal documents are usually finalized immediately, with doctors, clerks, and palace officials all signing off before anything is made public. Yet here was a retroactive alteration with no clear justification. Meghan's camp quickly fired back, blaming palace officials for changing the document without her consent, painting her as a victim of royal interference. But behind the scenes, officials weren't buying it. The palace quietly hit back, insisting it was Meghan herself who demanded the birth certificate revision for branding reasons. Two completely different stories. No verified paper trail and no clear explanation. Exactly the kind of messy contradiction that makes investigators raise their brows and start digging deeper. Even stranger, the palace skipped one of the oldest royal traditions entirely: the public easel announcement outside the hospital.
Meghan didn't like the surname Mountbatten Windsor. If you remember, in her first lifestyle series with Meghan with them forever, she says to Carling that her surname isn't Markle but Sussex. And she was desperate to get it. She said we never had a proper surname, and of course they did.
For centuries, that framed bulletin wasn't just for ceremony. It served as an internal verification process, confirming medical supervision, legitimate witnesses, and constitutional order. But when Archie was born, all of that vanished. No easel, no royal doctor, no witnessed signature chain, just silence. To palace insiders, it didn't look like a royal birth at all. It looked like a Hollywood privacy project wrapped in royal packaging. And if Archie's paperwork caused mild confusion, Lilibet's situation sent the palace into full-blown constitutional panic. Lilibet arrived on June 4th, 2021, and her birth was unlike anything the monarchy had ever seen. The official announcement didn't come from Buckingham Palace, medical authorities, or royal press aides. It came from Meghan and Harry's personal PR team in California, polished, but completely detached from royal protocol. No British obstetric team confirmed the event, no royal midwife signed off, and the palace reportedly never received authenticated medical documents. For a monarchy that treats lineage like state business, that absence was shocking. Every royal birth before this had been a matter of constitutional record, not just a family milestone, but a legal necessity. Each event had traceable oversight to secure the child's rights to titles, rank, and future constitutional duties. But Lilibet's arrival? It looked more like a celebrity brand rollout than the birth of a royal descendant. To make things worse, photos Meghan released while allegedly pregnant showed huge inconsistencies: timing, body shape, even lighting.
So all of the pictures, my point is, out there were inconsistent with the idea of a real pregnancy. And I thought, what is she not contextually aware if she's trying to hide something? This is really sloppy pool.
All of it so irregular that online analysts began debating whether the images were staged or heavily edited to control the narrative. Those discrepancies made royal archivists uneasy. And the final twist? The doctor linked to the reported birth quietly stepped away after media speculation exploded. No official statement, no verified witness trail, nothing. That left palace administrators staring at a situation with no clear medical chain of custody, a total procedural void. For an institution where lineage is treated like national documentation, this wasn't just unusual, it was unthinkable. The lack of traditional verification didn't feel like a privacy choice anymore. It felt like someone had quietly bypassed royal security systems built to protect the crown itself. This wasn't about doubting Meghan's role as a mother. It was about missing institutional oversight, the kind that the monarchy legally relies on to preserve its legitimacy. And if the questions around the births made palace staff nervous, what came next? The christening reportedly sent real shockwaves through those gilded halls. The moment officials reviewed Lilibet's christening records, eyebrows reportedly hit the ceiling. Royal christenings aren't casual backyard events with scented candles and a guest list full of Hollywood friends. They're sacred Anglican sacraments, bound by centuries of tradition, carried out under the Church of England with official witnesses, clergy signatures, and precise archival documentation.
It is uncomfortable. I don't think, because she's done this before for photos, I don't think that is a real baby bump. I think
way too big. It's way too big.
And sort of too low as well.
Yeah, it's like a metre out there. I mean, it looks the wrong shape.
Where's she going to give birth there? Through her knees or something? I mean, that is too low.
Every royal baptism is logged in institutional ledgers to secure the child's rightful place in the line of succession. No exceptions. But this time, things were wildly different. Harry and Meghan hosted a private christening in Montecito, officiated by Bishop John Taylor of the Episcopal Church, a branch related to Anglicanism, but not under its direct authority. It might have been warm and emotional, but according to insiders, it wasn't automatically recognized under official Church of England rules. That meant palace archivists were suddenly unable to confirm Lilibet's baptism as valid within constitutional standards. No Anglican registrar, no official baptism ledger, no entry in the royal archives, just silence. And that silence reportedly made royal advisors deeply uneasy. Behind closed doors, the tone shifted from curiosity to concern. For an institution that depends on ritual and record to maintain continuity, this wasn't just another celebrity parenting choice. It was an unprecedented break from royal tradition, and to those inside Buckingham Palace, it felt like a quiet crisis waiting to explode. The palace wasn't questioning faith or beliefs. It was staring down a legal reality. A private U.S. christening, no matter how heartfelt, doesn't meet the constitutional requirement of an Anglican baptism for royal heirs. Meghan reportedly treated the ceremony like a sentimental milestone, full of decor and symbolic touches. But the monarchy isn't concerned with ambience or aesthetics. It needs traceable verification that follows royal precedent, not PR, not photography, not mood lighting. And just when officials thought the confusion might end there, the photos that followed turned everything upside down. When palace reviewers went back through the Sussexes' public holiday cards and family portraits, they allegedly noticed something that online analysts had been whispering about for years. The images simply didn't look consistent.
Silence everybody and just produce a DNA sample or proof of delivery. If you had those things, it would be very easy just to put them out there and say, this is what happened. This is what it is.
In one Christmas card, Archie appeared noticeably older than his reported age, with facial proportions that didn't match earlier photos. In another, Lilibet's lighting and head angle didn't align with Meghan and Harry's shadows at all. Photography experts began speculating that some shots might have been digitally composited, saying the reflections and depth of field didn't match up naturally. Even casual viewers pointed out that Meghan's way of holding the children looked stiff, more like a staged pose than a natural family moment. Top-tier analysts went further, noting mismatched reflections, uneven skin texture, and inconsistent focus levels within the same frame, telltale signs of digital manipulation or post-production merging. None of this proved wrongdoing, but it raised the kind of doubts the monarchy cannot afford to ignore. Royal portraits aren't just for nostalgia or photo albums. They serve as historical documentation. Every royal image, especially those showing heirs, functions as a visual confirmation of lineage and legitimacy. So when authenticity becomes questionable, alarm bells start ringing behind palace doors.
Obviously when William was born and Harry was born and George and Charlotte and Louis, we got great pictures outside the hospital. I remember, and William and Catherine especially, they made such an effort to show the whole world their new baby.
Officials reportedly concluded that if they couldn't vouch for the integrity of these public images, then every single piece of official paperwork had to be absolutely airtight. Inside Buckingham Palace, the tone shifted from curiosity to quiet urgency. Not because of gossip about Meghan's personality or parenting, but because of something far more serious: institutional survival. The monarchy can weather scandals, divorces, and even global criticism. But uncertain lineage? That's a constitutional nightmare. Succession law demands clarity, not interpretation. If a royal birth lacks verifiable medical oversight, if a christening isn't formally Anglican, or if key records remain incomplete or inconsistent, the palace risks opening the door to future legal challenges over royal titles and inheritance rights. For the crown, this isn't about optics, it's about law. Every title, every rank, every constitutional duty that follows must be backed by verifiable fact. The monarchy can't gamble on "just trust us," even if that assurance comes from a senior royal couple. And insiders say that's exactly why this quiet internal review became unavoidable, because letting uncertainty linger could one day explode into an international embarrassment. Palace aides reportedly concluded that it's better to discreetly confirm everything now than risk a constitutional meltdown later. The stakes aren't emotional, they're legal, political, and generational.
in this case about whether you think the birth was real, whether you think there was a surrogate, whether you think Meghan was wearing a moon bump. The fact is, Harry and Meghan lied. Buckingham Palace lied on their behalf. There was a complete cover-up over the birth of Prince Archie.
For Meghan, however, this internal review isn't just a boring bureaucratic process. It's a direct hit to everything she and Harry have built since leaving royal life. Their entire commercial empire, from Netflix deals to speaking tours, depends on the image of being royal parents whose children naturally belong to Britain's historic line of succession. If that perception starts to crumble, the whole brand foundation trembles with it. If internal scrutiny ever concludes that Meghan and Harry's birth or christening records failed to meet constitutional standards, the palace could move swiftly, restricting royal titles or freezing hereditary privileges until every detail is verified. That wouldn't just bruise royal pride, it would detonate the foundation of their entire brand. Without airtight lineage, the mystique that fuels their empire begins to vanish, and suddenly, those multi-million-dollar contracts lose their sparkle. Think about it. Every Netflix docuseries, streaming deal, memoir, and motivational speech cashes in on one thing: the allure of being the modern royal family in exile. Hollywood didn't invest in them because of acting chops or podcast skills. It invested because Meghan and Harry's children were believed to be royal heirs, born into history, framed by tradition, and wrapped in constitutional legacy. But if that heritage is found incomplete on paper, corporate confidence collapses overnight. Investors don't chase drama, they chase stability.
And it's one of the saddest things of all, Matt, of course, is that the children don't get to see their grandfather. That's really so awful because they're not getting to meet their cousins and to know their cousins. Such a shame for them.
Behind the scenes, palace insiders know exactly what's at stake. If administrators ever recommend freezing hereditary recognition until proof is secured, Meghan faces her worst-case scenario: a world she can't control through charm, PR, or emotional interviews. Lineage isn't a social media storyline. It's legal, ancient, and decided by institutions older than Hollywood itself. And according to whispers from Montecito, that's the nightmare Meghan fears most. Not headlines, but consequences. Every major contract they've landed since leaving royal life has leaned entirely on their Windsor connection. The big money didn't come because they were famous. Fame is cheap in Hollywood. It came because they were seen as royal exiles raising the next generation of a constitutional dynasty. That single illusion turned family photos into global headlines and everyday comments into viral moments. But if Buckingham Palace confirms even the slightest irregularity in those lineage records, that illusion collapses like a sandcastle at high tide. Streaming platforms hate uncertainty. Publishers run from anything that could later be proven false. And entertainment execs don't want to touch a brand that might lose its royal credibility mid-contract. Without confirmed heritage, the Sussex story stops being royal drama and becomes just another celebrity tale. Polished, landscaped, but ordinary. The prestige fades, the leverage dies, and Meghan's emotional influence starts to lose its power. Hollywood never cancels with noise. It just stops calling. Inside Buckingham Palace, though, the silence is deafening and strategic. The less Meghan knows about the internal verification process, the harder it becomes for her to spin the narrative or preempt the outcome.
Why not, Father Calvin, just put the bill to Parliament now? Just strip them.
Well,
just strip them of their titles. I'm done. I'm done.
The monarchy isn't chasing gossip or revenge. They're doing what they've done for centuries, protecting constitutional clarity. Lineage isn't emotional or negotiable. It must be documented, traceable, and historically airtight. Even if the process makes things uncomfortable for Meghan and Harry, the Crown has no choice. Meghan can edit documentaries, curate Instagram feeds, and charm talk show hosts. But she can't rewrite lineage law with filters or public sympathy. Once an internal review begins, control slips away. The palace doesn't shout, it acts. And silence, in royal circles, is the loudest sound of all. Whether this investigation wraps up quietly or sparks a global media storm, the implications stretch far beyond gossip. Titles, heritage, recognition, and future fortune all depend on records older than cameras, older than influencers, older than fame itself. Meghan may be a master of image, but this time, she's facing the one storyline she can't edit, narrate, or manipulate: the law of the crown. Stay locked in, because when it comes to the House of Windsor, silence always means something big is brewing. This is Brew Leak, where the crown meets controversy, and we never blink.